Well, good morning. I'm Brent Adams here with your Rural Strong Morning Ag Report for this Wednesday, March 13th. Leading off the headlines this morning, Tyson Foods will shutter its pork processing facility in Perry, Iowa at the end of June, sending 1,276 employees to the unemployment line, according to a Progressive Farmer report. The Tyson plant is Perry's largest employer and has been a major buyer from an estimated 6,000 pork producers. In a statement, Tyson says, after careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision to permanently close our Perry, Iowa pork facility. We understand the impact this has on our team members and the local community. Taking care of our team members is our top priority, and we encourage them to apply for other open roles within the company. The statement continued, we are also working closely with state and local officials to provide additional resources to those who are impacted. While this decision was not easy, it emphasizes our focus to optimize the efficiency of our operations to best serve our customers. Well, the USDA spending bill President Biden just signed for the rest of this fiscal year limits the Ag Secretary's discretion in spending funds from the Commodity Credit Corporation, USDA's financing institution. The Ag spending bill requires the Secretary to give Congress 15 days notice and spending details before transferring $100 million or more from the CCC. The provision is based on the earlier USDA Spending Accountability Act, led by Republican Senators Roger Marshall, Mike Braun, and Iowa's Chuck Grassley.
We should not have a slush fund that is outside of the appropriation process, that doesn't give Congress control of the purse strings.
Republicans charge the CCC's been used for politically driven pet projects. But Secretary Tom Vilsack sees it differently.
The ARC payments and the PLC payments and the CRP payments all come from the Commodity Credit Corporation, so they've done it in the past.
Citing legitimate CCC use to fund farm bills. And Senate Ag Chair Debbie Stabenow pointed to Vilsack's earlier okay of a bipartisan request to use CCC funds for trade promotion.
A large part of that is already the way we fund the farm bill. So it's not that there's $30 billion additional.
And the earlier GOP bill would use half its $8 billion estimated 10-year savings for market development and research, the other half for deficit reduction. But Republicans criticized the CCC's use for climate programs and other Democratic priorities and say even the Government Accountability Office has ruled USDA should have asked Congress first. U.S. corn is coming under more downward price pressure. More on that from USDA Radio's Gary Crawford.
A quick summary of the general market situation for U.S. corn.
Relatively abundant U.S. and global supplies, price pressure, prices trending lower.
And U.S. corn exports running ahead of last season. This from USDA Outlook Board Chairman Mark Jekanowski. Big supplies of corn around the world putting downward pressure on prices. And while USDA in its latest forecasts did not change the supply or the use numbers,
we reduced our U.S. season average farm price this month by 5 cents a bushel. Now it's at $4.75 a bushel. That's down almost $1.80 from last year, and last year's season average price was $6.54 per bushel.
So prices are projected down from last year by about 26%. Corn exports projected up by about 26%, just over 2 billion bushels. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
Also this morning, U.S. wheat exports this year may sink to their lowest levels in almost 50 years. Here again is Gary Crawford.
When it comes to the export situation for U.S. wheat,
we're struggling with very sluggish export demand.
USDA Outlook Chairman Mark Jekanowski says sales have been slow for months, and we've seen some recent cancellations of purchases by China. And so
we pulled our U.S. export forecast down by 15 million bushels, so now it's at 710 million bushels. That just reflects a sluggish pace of exports for hard red winter, which we reduced 5 million bushels. And an even more sluggish pace for soft red winter wheat, which we reduced 10 million bushels.
Add it all up and you get
the lowest U.S. export volumes since the early 1970s.
Analysts say U.S. wheat is not price competitive, even though USDA's current season average price forecast is almost 20% lower than last year at $7.15 a bushel. Gary Crawford for the U.S. Department of Agriculture.
And finally, this morning in 2022, farm establishments received 24.1 cents for each dollar spent on food at home and 3.6 cents for each dollar spent on food away from home. These amounts, called farm shares, highlight the different paths that food takes from farms to consumers' points of purchase. This, according to the USDA's Economic Research Service. Food at home dollars include food purchases from outlets such as grocery stores, supermarkets, and wholesale clubs that are meant to be prepared at home. Food away from home dollars include food purchases at restaurants, including carry out and delivery, and other venues where food is eaten on the premises. The remainder of each food dollar makes up the marketing share, which is the total value of processing, transportation, retailing, and other activities that get food from farm operations to points of purchase for consumers. In 2022, the marketing share was 75.9 cents per food at home dollar and 96.4 cents per food away from home dollar. You can keep up with the latest from the world of agriculture by subscribing to the Tractors and Troubadours podcast from Rural Strong Media. Each week, I bring you agriculture industry newsmakers, hot button industry issues, educational features, and the best in traditional country music. The Tractors and Troubadours podcast can be found at ruralstrongmedia.com or wherever you get your podcasts. We also invite you to join us daily on Rural Strong Radio, our 24/7 streaming radio station, found at ruralstrongmedia.com or the Live 365 streaming radio app for your mobile device. Each day, we bring you our award-winning agriculture programming, as well as the best in traditional country music, mixed in with a little bluegrass, western swing, southern rock, and inspirational music. Again, the place to find Rural Strong Radio is ruralstrongmedia.com or the Live 365 streaming radio app. We're portable, so take us with you everywhere you go while you're working on the farm or ranch. Let's get through the workday together. Well, I leave you this morning with this programming note. I'm going to be putting the Rural Strong Morning Ag Report on hiatus for a few weeks here. My daughter's going to be having some major surgery tomorrow and is going to require a few weeks recovery time. So I'm going to take some time to navigate that with her, and I hope to be back in a few weeks in a bit of a new format. And Steve will keep you posted on that as we get closer to time. But I just want to thank everybody for their support of the Rural Strong Morning Ag Report since we launched this thing, along with Steve Shetler Media here late last summer. We couldn't do it without you, and sure would appreciate your prayers as we navigate these next few weeks here, and hope to see you on down the road as we continue this journey on the Rural Strong Morning Ag Report. And on that note, make it a great day, everybody.